Now I'd like to bring in White House Trade Advisor Peter Navarro. Peter, you and I have been talking about China for quite some time now. This news, Representative Eric Swalwell with a Chinese spy, Fang. What do you think's going on here?
It's a standard playbook, Eric. Basically a little honeypot designed to lure in Americans, compromise them. China, the Chinese Communist Party, does this all the time. They do it to professors, they do it to congressmen, they do it to everybody in between. And we got to stop tolerating the Chinese Communist Party sending spies here to America and having their way with us. At some point, this country is going to wake up. President Donald J. Trump has got the American people awake. The question is now, can we stay awake and stop this kind of stuff? But I mean, they're out to get us. What can I say?
What are they getting, Peter? What are they going after when they sit with when she sleeps with allegedly or may not, who knows, when she's hanging out with Swalwell and other elected officials, raising money for them? What did the Chinese government get in return? What was that spy bringing back to China, Beijing, and telling them about what we're doing?
I always get back to my 7 deadly sins. You know, what China's after here in America is to steal our intellectual property, to force technology transfer, to basically have their way with the American worker. And in the case of Capitol Hill, they're looking for influence. For example, Swalwell, you know, he would do votes on legislation that would possibly stop China from stealing our stuff, and he would be compromised. There are also possibility of getting information out of the Intelligence Committee. I mean, the idea that this dude's on the Intelligence Committee doesn't have a lot of intelligence, sleeping with a Chinese spy. But having said that, you do not want to entrust him with national security secrets. And by the way, I never wanted to trust him or Adam Schiff or those folks. I mean, they were the guys that gave us the Russia hoax for 4 years, after all.
Bill Barr, Attorney General Bill Barr, heads the DOJ, which heads the FBI, which heads the CIA. Were they asleep at the wheel with some of this stuff? Because I believe that the FBI at one point was investigating Fang and Eric Swalwell, but what happened? Nothing seemed to ever come of it.
Chris Wray talked a good game over at the FBI, and the Justice Department has filed a number of complaints. But these are one-off kinds of things, Eric, and you know, the Department of Justice has been a great disappointment to this administration. You know, we went 4 years without Brennan, Comey, Clapper, Page, and Strzok being investigated and possibly indicted. I mean, what happened to that? I mean, they did really bad things. The Chinese are on us all the time. I would say one thing about justice. There's no way, Eric, that we can investigate our way out case by case of the Chinese Communist Party trap for America. They are sending so many spies at us from so many different directions. We simply don't have the resources. That's why we need a policy, a global policy against the Chinese Communist Party with respect to all of the kinds of things they do. And we have to ask ourselves the question, Eric, do we want their research scientists at our research labs? Do we want their business executives infiltrating our companies? And by the way, I should mention, I don't know if you saw this, but like Apple, basically there was a story out about how Apple now is basically saying that just don't do anything wrong about China and everything will be okay. And these kinds of policies, we're going to have to really rethink a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, and not only Apple, but the NBA, we talked about that as well. You know, I remember a story about Chinese business people coming over here, and we, as Americans, open arms, welcomed them. They walked through our manufacturing plants. What they were doing was they were stealing materials, the composites that they would collect on the bottom of their shoes. They were wearing shoes that would collect materials, and they go back and investigate and pick it apart and then steal our intellectual property that way. Peter, always good to have you on. We'll bring you back. I'm very concerned. We'll bring you back next time to talk about if it is President Biden dealing with the Chinese, not if it is or when he does. Will he be strong enough with the Chinese? It's a big concern of ours. Peter Navarro, everybody, thank you for your time.
thought there. Yeah, take care, Eric.